Section 19 of Christmas and Christmas Lore. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit Librivox.org. Christmas and Christmas Lore by Thomas G. Crippen. Section 19. Church Observances. Advent. Remembering that Christmas is, above all things, a religious anniversary, we turn a while to the church observances of the season. From early in the 6th century it has been usual throughout Western Christendom, though not in the Greek Church, to set apart the 4 Sundays next preceding Christmas as a season of devotional preparation. This was, and still is, known as the season of Advent, and special prayers, anthems, and hymns for the 4 Sundays and some other days are given in the church service books. According to the Roman use, and those uses which generally prevailed in England before the Reformation, the Te Deum and Gloria in Excelsis were not sung during Advent, but all the anthems had a note of expectation, leading up to the 7 great O's at Vespers on the 7 days preceding Christmas. These have happily been restored to use within the last generation, and their use is by no means limited to the Episcopal Church. Advent being a preparation for Christmas, as Lent was for Easter, it came to be regarded as in like manner a season of abstinence. So the Roman Church ordained that every Wednesday and Friday of the 4 weeks should be kept as a fast, and that if marriages took place they should be without outward pomp or festivity. Kirchmeier tells us that in Germany witches and evil spirits were thought to be especially mischievous on the Thursdays in Advent. On those days children ran about the streets, knocking at every door and crying the advent of the Lord, a Happy New Year, for which they expected apples or pence. At the same time girls sought by divination, with onions and faggot sticks, to learn something about their future husbands. In Rome, Naples, and other Italian cities, images or pictures of the Blessed Virgin are often placed at street corners and other public places. It was customary in the 18th century, and perhaps is still, for the Calabrian shepherds during the last few days of Advent to come into the cities with musical instruments, usually bagpipes, and play before these images and pictures as an act of devotion. They would also play before a carpenter's shop to show respect to St. Joseph. Advent ends with Christmas Eve. It was customary in the papal chapel at Rome that if a sovereign prince were present at matins on that day, he should read one of the lessons, holding in his hand a drawn sword in token of his readiness to defend the church. After this custom had become obsolete, the Pope was accustomed on Christmas Day to bless a sword and hat which were sent as gifts to some royal personage. In Holland, the characteristic observance of Christmas Eve is or was of a more democratic type. At midnight the young men of a town or village, some of them in fantastic costumes, meet in the principal square or open space, and after singing Gloria in Excelsis, or its Dutch equivalent, choose one of their numbers as star-bearer. A large lantern has been provided in the shape of a star, containing many candles and mounted on a pole. This is borne at the head of a long procession through every street, the company seeing the Gloria. The whole effect is said to be very impressive. A custom existed in Yorkshire which certainly cannot be called a church observance, but which is most conveniently mentioned here because it is connected with the season of Advent. The children went about carrying what was called the Yule baby, an elaborately dressed doll in a decorated box, which represented the manger at Bethlehem. Sometimes there were 2 dolls to represent the Holy Child and his mother. It was thought unlucky if any house was not visited by these Advent images. This custom was, in all likelihood, a survival of the medieval praesepio, of which more hereafter. End of section 19.